Hey, welcome to another episode of Changing the Face of Wellness podcast. I'm your host and wellness strategist, Rachel Harper. If you're an educator just like me, we are right now, as of the date of this recording, December 2024, we are right now on winter break. And I think it is so important for us to remember that while we are on any type of break, that we reinforce our wellness habits. That is not just focusing on what we're eating, that's not just focusing on movement, but that's also making sure we are including strategies to decrease our stress, such as stillness, such as there's a lot of different things. I'll jump into it a little bit. But this episode today, we are talking about 3 steps to make your wellness non-negotiable in 2025. We know as we move into the new year's, typically what people do is they start to say, well, the new year, I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on my self-care. I'm going to focus on what I'm eating. I'm going to focus on moving a little bit more. And all that is noble. Research shows is that typically by the second Friday of the every new year, a majority of people already give up on their goals. But I want to make sure that you're not just setting a goal for your wellness and your well-being, but you are making it a non-negotiable so that way you can stick to it. So, teachers who prioritize wellness report higher job satisfaction and lower stress levels. Research also shows that teaching is the second most stressful job behind nursing. And so, what that tells me and what that tells you as well is that there's so much stress when it comes to education, then why wouldn't we focus on our wellness as teachers? It only makes sense for us to prioritize and make our wellness a non-negotiable, because when we don't, then stress overtakes us. We end up leaving our jobs prematurely when we know we love the career that we have, but just the stress overtakes our mind and our bodies and our souls. And so what I want you to do, what I encourage you to do for 2025 is to make your wellness a non-negotiable. So I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can do that. Okay. So the first thing I want you to begin doing is think about the cost of you neglecting your health in the past. So maybe 2024, you didn't focus as much on your health as much as you wanted to. Maybe in 2023, December, Christmas break, you say, you know what, in 2024, I'm really going to start focusing on my wellness. And maybe you fell off, right? Because typically what happens in education, or if you're we know that education is a really busy field. It can be really busy. The lesson planning, the writing the IEPs, the classroom management, the meetings, all the things, right? The after school activities, especially if you add on to that, that you have things that you have to take care of at home, right? So maybe you're a parent, maybe you are a bonus parent, maybe you have a significant other, maybe you're a caretaker to your parents, whatever the case may be, maybe you see that work and life, there is no balance when it comes to your life, right? And so you have to start thinking about what is the cost of you saying that the work is the reason why you don't focus on your health, right? We often say we don't have enough time. If maybe perhaps you feel like that is true, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not true. I don't even know you, but that's not true. Why? Because there's probably 30 minutes where you're scrolling through your phone, right? And so there's 10 minutes in there where you can focus on your wellness. And I'm kind of getting ahead, but I just wanted to put that out there, right? So that we all can realize that when we are reflecting on our past habits, we got to be real with ourselves. What is the truth? You got to be real with yourself. Don't beat up on yourself, but just be real with yourself, right? And talk about how much time, if I use that excuse that it wasn't enough time for me to focus on my wellness or prioritize myself, then I want you to start to think, then why? What were the pockets of time where maybe I did have 5 minutes to focus on myself, to put, put my energy back into my wellness? And then I want you to adjust your vision. So many people, they vision board for the new year. What does your wellness look like in 2025? But I don't even want you to just stop there. What does your wellness look like in 2026? Right? Because everything that we do in 2025 is going to be a head start for 2026. Okay. So I want you to reflect and adjust your vision. So what are your values when it comes to your health and your wellness? Do you follow those values or do you ignore those values? Okay. So start to reflect for 2025. What do you want your vision to look like? And what has been the cost of you neglecting your health? Are you now on medicine? Is your blood pressure high? Do you have more aches and pains? Do you not have enough energy? Do you feel overwhelmed? Is your stress overtaking you? Do you feel like you have anxiety? What is the cost of you neglecting your health? What was the cost in 2024? Maybe if you think back to 23 and 22. Okay. So, number 2, how can you make wellness a daily habit? I want you to start small. The name of this podcast is Changing the Face of Wellness. Unfortunately, a lot of times we believe that when it comes to our wellness, we got to do something extraneous and extravagant and big. But understand that even if you spent 5 minutes journaling or 10 minutes walking or 3 minutes in stillness, that over time compounds and creates the mind and body that God said that we're supposed to be having, right? That we're supposed to have. God said he came so we may have life and have life in abundance. And for some reason, we oftentimes, when it comes to our health, we're living in lack. So don't think that you have to start big. Just start small by integrating one wellness activity into your routine. Okay, like a 10-minute walk. If you have a dog, listen, there's no reason why you aren't taking a 10-minute walk. Take the dog outside for 5 minutes, put it on a leash, go outside, walk. Okay, that's also time for you. That's also time for your dog. It all goes together. If you have children, take them outside for 5 minutes, take them outside for 10 minutes. That's the time for you to run around and get active. So one of the things I like to say is make it a part of your lifestyle. What is something that you're doing anyway? Like you're going to the mall anyway. Put on your sneakers and your sweats instead of going to the mall with your, your cute heels and all those things. Put on your sneakers, put on a pair of comfortable pants and go walk around the mall for 10 minutes. Okay. And then number 3, I want you to sustain your wellness journey. Set a goal to continue implementing boundaries into your life. You got to start separating your work and your life so that way you can open up the time and have more energy for your self-care practices. And I mean self-care practices beyond the hair, beyond the nails. Now, those things are important. They also make you feel good. But I'm also talking about there may be times where you feel like I don't have enough energy to cook a healthy meal. So I'm just going to go and get something that's more processed, right? Because it's just quicker to go through a drive-through. But if you start to create boundaries to separate your work and your life, you will begin to see work does not overtake your life. So if you want to dig deeper into more of these steps, I want you to go to teacherresetbook.com. It's there on the screen for you, teacherresetbook.com. And I want you to download my new ebook. It's called The Reset Method. It shows you 5 simple and easy steps to separate work and life so that you can set bold boundaries and balance. Okay. You want to have more time to focus on your wellness. It is a non-negotiable. What is the cost of you not focusing on your wellness in 2025? What will be the cost? And what has been a cost? Think back to the past 3 years when you've been neglecting yourself, not prioritizing your wellness and making work your priority. You should not make work your priority. I wrote something online and I wrote, what did I write? I wrote, my wellness is important. My wellness is a priority and work does not come first. Somebody wrote back and said, well, what about the students? In my head, I was thinking, what about them? Like, okay, what about them? But I had to write back and say, you know what? If I don't focus on my wellness, what good am I to the students anyway? Right? I'm actually a better teacher because I make my wellness a non-negotiable. I can show up with energy. And I have middle schoolers who will have a lot of energy. And so if I don't have energy, then what good am I to them? I'm not going to be able to show up how I need to show up for them. Right. And so if you're a teacher as well, make sure you are focusing on making your wellness a non-negotiable. It should be first priority in your life, not work. Work should not be first priority. Work should never be first priority. Okay. And we're going to talk about something in the orbit. If you get the book, I talk about the orbit. We don't put things in 1, 2, 3 order, but listen, don't put work first. So again, go to teacherresetbook.com, get that book right now. You can get all the 5 steps that will help you start to set boundaries, bold boundaries, and balance between your work and your life. Take care.